Find a fair
You just had your opportunity. We need your help. We need your help.
Where do you have to go, Rick?
How much more do you have to hear?
Right now, than this board getting together, reconvening in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, at least that the rest of you can say that you all took the courage and sat down and listened to the issues.
I think we did listen to the issues.
You didn't listen to the issues, and I know for a fact some of you that have voted or not spoke don't know all the
stories. The fact that
stories.
we're not rescinding does not mean that we didn't listen and don't favor a fair resolution.
Well,
right?
what would it hurt to have 5 minutes that you privately, your board, could have a conversation?
Remember,
I sit as on many chairs of boards, and not having a good conversation with your group is just not proper. Take a 5-minute recess. I encourage you to take a 5-minute recess. So that's it. You don't have enough time, Rick. You don't have enough time. So we got to be at your house. We got to be at the cafe. We got to continue to put the message out there.
I'll put it out one more time. Is there anybody that wants a second?
Shut it down. Why? Members there.
All right.
We need your help.
First of all,
Walk right out. Let him speak.
first of all, please sit down. Thank you. Not there, just in the audience.
I won't say anything.
Thank you. I think you're all very committed to the interests of the community.
You're not.
Let him finish, please.
Thank you. To the members of the union, as are we, I think we have a process that we will complete today. I'm not an officer of this board, I am a member. And I think in the best interest of those things that we all agree in, let's let this meeting end and let the members of this group and the executives of this agency think about what you offered and get back to you.
But as just a
I'm not through. I'm not through. And with your representation and the representation that we have, discuss whether that can be done within the legal constraints of both public meetings law and whatever negotiating process is underway. So let's just let that period of consideration, discussion occur, and then I'm sure Mr. Van Beveren or Mr. McFarland will get back to you in a very timely way. But I don't have enough information about the process of law to know whether we can have that conversation today.
I think there's always a time to stop. The problem is under what you just described, it's already going to be implemented.
That's not what I said.
Executive session.
So how would the board, just for procedural, and Mr. Playfair, if you could chime into it, how would the board make a decision if it wasn't here today?
If the board chose to have an executive session, I'm not sure whether we can do that today. If the board chose to call for an executive session sometime between now and December 31st, it has that authority.
We're not going to make a decision under this kind of charged atmosphere. It just isn't. We can't have a rational discussion and come to some consensus.
Let me ask you this question, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate
Our lives are on the line.
Hold on. I can appreciate that, Rick. But what my concern is you know, as Steve's put together, and I think it's not necessarily a bad idea to give you guys some time, but we have been here for many months on the issues. If people truly want to know what those issues were, they would know where they're at. My concern is, if you break today without going through this process, that you will not have the opportunity. So if somebody in this room can assure me that this board can meet in an executive session, make a decision, and instruct the general manager to do a certain thing without bringing this group back together, that's all I would like to hear. Because my concern is what happens is, like we've talked about, the whole issue is we're not going to be able to get to the table, we're not going to be able to do good work with this thing hanging over our head. And if we wait, it implements, it takes it to the next notch. I've continued to try to express the concerns that this thing is doing nothing but going upward, and it's hard to bring it back down. And I appreciate all of your time. I appreciate you taking the time. I spoke with some of your people out there. I've talked to people that have said, you know what, you guys don't have all the information, and that's not proper. That's not proper as a board.
I will tell you this. I will personally take this on and discuss it with board members.
Can I have that question answered, though, just procedural-wise? Does the board have the ability?
You know, I don't know. I'd have to defer to Mr. Playfair.
Yes.
They do have the decision. They do have the ability.
The ability to reconvene. Yes, they do have the ability to call a separate meeting. Or, yes.
Does it have to
You
bring
refer
this
to this
group back? Does it have to
process
have public
as
notice? Does it have to have those?
It has to have public notice.
Absolutely.
And that's my point. So let's let that process be evaluated, and I'm sure with our board chair and the interest of the board, that we will entertain your question in an appropriate way.
One more
Today
thought.
is not that place.
One more thought.
I think,
One thought.
make it concise.
Forgot to turn to page 3. Mike's off. Money you take out of the employee and retirees' pockets by spending it on health insurance, by them having to do that. If we have to tighten our belt, it means less money we have to spend in the community. Less money that we have to spend in the community means the business people of the metro area don't do as well.
Got it.
By that amount. That means less revenue ultimately for TriMet. It is a cycle.
Okay, point taken. Thanks.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I do appreciate your time. I appreciate, I know it's not an easy job as you sit up here and the way the information is put out to you. I can understand that. I can appreciate from where I sit as well. But we're running out of time. And Christmas is here. And you know what? There are people that are not going to have a decent Christmas this year. There are people that are going to have some major problems. All we're asking is to defer, to extend, allow the opportunity for us to work together. Because we will, and we are willing. But what's going to happen is there's going to be so much stuff that's going to go on that it's going to make it hard for you guys, for
John,
Mr. McFarland.
we're going to adjourn at this point because we have heard from you. Thanks. Thanks very much.
I await your phone call.